morning. Today we go into the idea of Tohu and Tikkun a little bit more. But here the Rebbe Rashab asks, from the point of view of Tohu and Tikkun. Tohu and Tikkun, we know that it was Oiris Merubim, Bekelim Muatim. It was too much light in too small vessels, too small receptacles. So therefore, there was sfiros Kelim. But in Tohu itself, you have the Oiris de Tohu, you have the lights of Tohu, the lights of Tohu. You also have the Kelim of Tohu. Usually we go have the idea of Oiris de Tohu, and then we have the idea of Kelim de Tikkun. Oiris de Tohu is that the Oiris are too big, and the Kelim de Tikkun, they receive and they transform. If you want to say, like by electricity, you have the electricity coming through, and then you have the transformer that transforms the electricity in order that it could come through the amount that it needs. And it's not going to be too much, and you're going to have the fuse will blow. But by Oiris de Tohu, what he goes into now is looking at Oiris de Tohu. If the lights of Tohu had Reimamos, had the exaltness, had the Ashpa, then what's the whole issue of them being one under the other? Meaning, when the sfiros are one under the other, let's say Chachma Bina Das, then each one is by itself. Each one is by itself, and they could give to each other. Then what's the problem? Problem over here is where he says is, based on the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that he said a few weeks ago, is that there is the idea of that Sodom basically said, the people of Sodom, they said, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. So, if I benefit out of it, and you don't benefit, I benefit, you benefit out of it, and there's nothing lacking me, then okay. And then there is Zenana v'zechaser. Even if Zenana v'zelechaser, but he's only v'zelechaser k'tas, he's only missing a little bit. There's also Sodom. So the Rebbe Rashab translates that into Tohu and Tikkun. So even if you want to say that by Tohu, by the Oiris of Tohu, they even if you want to say by the Oiris of Tohu, they are still have the active ashpa. They're still giving, but they're missing something. What was the issue of by the Oiris of Tohu? The issue was the Kelim of Tohu, being that to receive, you need to have the factor of that I don't exist, because if you do exist, then how is something being given to you? Then there was no place for someone else. So that was the whole issue of having the sfiros that tachazet. So there's just parenthetically there is the idea of the sfiros in a way of shava, which is the two dots, as we know, and then there is the there's zet tachazed, and there's a segel. A segel is like this: 1 dot, 2 dot, and 3. You have chesed, you have gvura, and you have sfiros in the middle. Why is sfiros in the middle? Because it has a little bit of both. It has chesed and it has gvura. So when chesed is able to have gvura, when gvura is able to have chesed, then you're able to have sfiros, and so on and so forth. But by the sfiros Kelim, what happened was the Oiris were screaming from today to tomorrow, I want to give. But if you don't have that faculty of it's not me, it's about the what needs to get done, then you're not a kli. Then you could give from today to tomorrow, but you're not really giving. Yeah. So we each even got, and this could also translate into relationships or anything that a person is doing at that particular moment. Is it that I don't exist at this moment, and it's what needs to get done? Be it davening, be it learning, being family, being it in work, whatever it is. Everything that I do has to be translated in this Tohu and Tikkun relationship, which is also Ratzay and Shuv, which is also which all has to do with it, which is the whole idea of Dira B'Tachtenim. It's very nice that there are but they have to come down, and that's the whole idea of I just to tell you of I just to tell you and Kalim the Tikkun, and that goes into the whole idea of Keser, what we want to go into in this whole mimer of how do we get from the finite to the infinite.